How's it going, folks? Some of you noticed I recently changed to a new Rhino-Rack Pioneer platform. Been running it for a while to get a feel of it, and now I can confirm that I like it enough to share with you all. So in this video, I'll walk you through the install of this rack and accessories. Just a little comparison before we get started on the new one. This was the tray that came with the previous owner. Safe to say it's probably been on there for over a decade. It served me well for strapping things down, but I just wanted something more low profile and stylish. The new generation Pioneer platform was my ultimate choice. We are here at Carcraft Auto Repair in Surrey, BC. I just put in my Landcrusier 100 series inside for, as you can see, I don't have a roof rack right now. Actually, the owner himself of this shop is a fellow four-wheeler. He has a YouTube channel sharing a lot of the maintenance and mechanical tips. It's called KB Autotech and Adventure. So give it a check if you guys want to do something on your own vehicle and then keeping it on the road safely. I have to apologize for the noisy voice record in these clips. I've been plugging in the mic into the wrong jack the whole time. Kept wondering why my audio sucks even with the mic. Until that one day I faced my stupidity straight on. Figure out why my audio sucks even though I have been using a mic, because I've been plugging in this hole, which is an output. It doesn't do anything. It should in fact go into this hidden compartment where the mic is supposed to be. So dumb, man! But in order to get that rack onto my roof, I'll need to change the crossbar into a backbone system. So for my old crossbar, 1, 2, 3, removing base to make space for the backbone system. So much dirt in the channel. Give it a quick blow dry to clean up, then put on the build toe patches. This is to provide a watertight seal and protect the paint. Then simply line up the backbone with the base. Align and tighten the 2 screws in each leg to the roof. When that's done, let's move on to assembling the Pioneer platform. So this new version have a measurement printed on for faster installation, so you don't have to pull out the measuring tape. The front and rear pieces also have accessory gutters on the top and bottom, so you can mount lights and anything else in the front of the vehicle or the back, instead of just in the middle or on the side. What's also cool about this is, you see the channel? There are gaps for running your wires. I am looking for a good set of work lights, so once I have that, I can run the wires through the corner, hide them inside here, and then mount my lights out. And run the wire through the bottom, inside, and then continue the wires in the side beam. Those are the sneaky new features on this new version of Pioneer platform. You probably wouldn't notice until looking closely. You still have the same sleek design, aluminium black powder coated. My platform is 84 by 56 inches, pretty large in size, so it came unassembled. Most likely when you get yours, it will come in a big flat package already assembled, which saves heaps of time. If that's the case, feel free to skip to accessories. Close the corner caps after sliding screw pins into the side extrusions. Use hand tools or very low torque power tool. Just be careful not to strip any bolts. And make sure you're putting on the top one. Sliding more pins into the slats. The amount of them depends on the size of your platform. For mine, it's a lot. Lay the frame on the slats, move 2 outer pins from each slat to the end and have them go through the frame holes. Screw on the nuts to secure your vertical slats in place. Onto the horizontal supports. This is where the measuring tape on the side pieces come in handy. Follow the instruction for different spacing application, move those pins to the right distance and secure the cross supports. The kit also comes with this little torque wrench thing, 6 millimeters, so you don't strip anything.
On a side note, we tried to put the backbone on the platform first and reverse everything onto the roof altogether. The instruction didn't tell you this, but it is doable on a 200 series. And in fact, AIB stores in Australia do it this way because it's faster. Something might be different on the 100 series ones, and there's not enough space to bolt down the backbone onto the roof after the platform is on. So for 100 series, backbone first, and then platform. For the awning, first put the bracket through the channel gutter on the outside. Super easy like that. And then we bring the awning over. We put the bolt through the channel inside the backside of the awning and then align those bolts through the bracket. Keep the bolt loose until you adjust it to the ideal location. Accessories! So I've been running just the platform for a while now, only just the awning, Maxtrax and some strap down stuff. Been taking my time to think how I want the layout to be on there. And I came out with a bunch of items, well not too many obviously, to be up there, and what sort of accessory I will need to get them tied down, secured. Finally a sunny day to put them on. Let me just actually run you guys through what I've got and why I got them. So the first thing first, the Stow kit. I believe this is one of the new items they got. Two of those. It's basically a shovel mount or fishing rod, anything that's shaped like a stick. I just want to point out the reason I got that. So I got this snow shovel from Costco. As you can see, the bar is not a standard round shape, and then the standard shovel mount, which you would get something like this, does not fit. It's too tight. However, if you have a normal one, this will fit. But, you know, it's rubber. I don't know how long it's going to deteriorate. So the first thing I did after getting this Stow kit was to grab my shovel, do a test fit. Yes! And then I love how it just, so on this side there's quite a few teeth to bite in depending on how thick your equipment is. And then for release, it's just real quick. These two buttons. I've already installed one side of the screw on. That's we will need to slide it onto the roof. In order to do that, we'll just simply pop off the bice rubber, washer on the screw, and then screw this in just a little bit so that it bites enough slack so that we can slide it through the channel. All right, next, yes, I do have a Maxtrax on there right now, but how I use it was, before when I had a tray, I need to drill through the tray and then use the pins, the 4 standard pins. And then on these ones, you'll actually need a different bracket, either go with the pin or these kind of screw type, because well, the width of the Maxtrax does not align with the vertical slats. So this is what I'll need to properly mount it on. Right now I just have 2 pins aligned on one side and a bungee strap on the other side.
This is not how you're supposed to mount a Maxtrax, but that was just a temporary solution, so now I should have the proper way to do it. So what I am thinking is to put the grab handles here, so when I come up to the roof, I can grab onto it. And then move Maxtrax one side in. Actually, one thing that's really neat about the tools that comes with it, you notice how the tip is a little curved out. Essentially this rubber, when you talk to the point that it sits flush, it's about 4 to 5 Newton-meter. So in that way, you won't overtalk these little bolts. I guess that's it.
The handles. At first when I saw people using these, I was like, why? Why? I never had an issue with climbing up to the roof. I even made a video about it until that one rainy day I slipped off the roof and then put my knees on the Maxtrax. I should have kept a photo of it. Literally on my shin, I had 2 bloody holes of the Maxtrax stud thing. Those things are tough. Be careful, guys. Don't try it. I tried it for yourself. One normal washer, one spring washer, screw in, leave it a bit of slack so we can put it through the slot later. And then camp light mounts. For these guys, I believe you can put in different direction, either on top or bottom. I don't have my camp lights yet. I'm still thinking about which one to get. All right, essentially my plan was to have the little camp light right here, mounted here, and then it just sits like that. So when at camp, when I'm having the awning all the way out, I'll have some lights shooting underneath.
When putting on the Stow, I actually forgot to film. And essentially it's the same idea. You slide the module through the holes and then distance it properly. Boom.
So these ski rack, snowboard rack, technically the clamp goes on to any crossbars. So even if you don't have a Rhino-Rack bar, I believe it's universal to a lot of the even factory crossbars. However, if you want to mount it to a Pioneer platform, you will need kind of an actual crossbar along the side, because Rhino-Rack's platform is vertical. The slats goes, how do you call it, north-south. However, I've seen people mount the two sides on the supporting crossbar underneath the slats, but I would assume only for a certain length of the ski rack, because your boards, let's not lose those. Actually, I sort of wonder, does all of the, see these Stow It kit have keys too? Does all of the Rhino-Rack products, so like if you have a Thule as well, do they all have the same key? So if somebody else have the same kit, so technically they can open my stuff. I'm not exactly sure, I haven't tried it, but if you know, if you tried it, let me know in the comment below.
Just trying to snowboard rack, nope, just a little bit off. Otherwise, yeah. Otherwise you can potentially clamp on the crossbar supporting it. Well, guess we'll have to wait for the actual crossbar that runs this way, and then for that to properly secure it. With that, I will close this video here, as we basically put on whatever we have available. What's your favorite rack accessory? Let me know in the comment below, or show me on the trail. See ya.